friends! Welcome back to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of religious stories. Today, I have a really intriguing tale for you, and I want you to guess the names of the main characters as we go along. So, buckle up. This is the story of a man whose name ends with AM. He had a wife whose name started with S. Now, this husband and wife were exiled from their city and traveled south with a relative whose name starts with L. During their journey, a king from a faraway kingdom took the woman. The last letter of the king's name is N. In short, the woman is freed and escapes from the king's captivity, and the man and woman return. Can you fill in the blanks? You might think it's an easy question. This is the story of the Ramayana, with characters Ram, Sita, Lakshman, and Ravan. But here's the twist: these fill-in-the-blanks also fit another story with characters Abraham, Sarah, Lot, and Pharaoh. This is the story of Prophet Abraham, a common prophet in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism.
Wow, that's so interesting. I had no idea those stories were so interconnected. Why do you think these stories resonate across different religions?
Great question! I believe it is necessary to make videos on religions because religion is often exploited by politicians and media to spread fear and hatred. The more people learn about different religions, the more love and brotherhood can develop among them.
Oh, wow. So, is that why they're called Abrahamic? Because they all trace back to him? That's kind of mind-blowing.
Exactly. Many believe that Prophet Abraham was the first prophet, especially Jews and many Christians. However, some Christians believe it was Enoch who was the first prophet. Genesis mentions Enoch walked with God for 300 years.
That's interesting. So, what's the deal with Enoch? Walking with God for 300 years sounds like a pretty epic life.
Right? It's fascinating. Muslims believe that Adam was the first prophet. So, let's start our story with Adam and Eve. Adam is believed to have been created from soil, and God gave him breath, making him a living being.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. The whole forbidden fruit thing, right? What's the significance of those trees? Why were they so important?
Great question. The trees symbolize the choices we make in life. The tree of knowledge represents the knowledge of good and evil, and the choice to eat from it led to humanity's fall. God then created animals and birds, but Adam felt lonely. So God made a woman from Adam's rib, and Adam named her Eve.
Wow, that's intense. So the snake was the bad guy? Do you think that's where the whole snakes are evil stereotype comes from?
You might be onto something there. This story has been referenced in pop culture, including the movie Knowing. After thousands of years, God saw that humans had become evil and decided to wipe out the earth. However, Noah, a good person, was warned by God about a great flood and instructed to build an ark to save his family and pairs of every living creature.
Oh, Noah, I know that story. So, was he the only one who survived? And what about all the other people?
The flood lasted for 40 days and nights, and everything was submerged for 150 days. Eventually, the ark landed on the mountain of Ararat, and the survivors began anew. Interestingly, there are similar stories in Hinduism, like that of King Manu, who was warned of a flood and built a boat to survive.
Whoa, that's wild. So, floods are a common theme in different cultures? That's kind of eerie.
Absolutely. In ancient Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh tells of a sage who saved his family and animals from a flood. In Greek mythology, Deucalion built a boat to escape a flood sent by Zeus.
That's so cool. It's like every culture has their own version of the same story. I wonder if they all have similar lessons too?
Now let's talk about Abram, who broke the idols. This story is not in the Hebrew Bible, but is mentioned in Midrash Genesis Rabbah. Abram's father made idols, and one day, while in charge of the shop, Abram broke all the idols and placed a stick in the hands of the largest idol. When questioned, he claimed the idols fought each other.
Haha, that's hilarious. Can you imagine the look on his dad's face? Did he get in trouble for that?
Well, he was ordered to enter a fire, and God saved him, leading to the rejection of idol worship in Judaism and Islam.
Oh man, that sounds like a classic case of it's complicated. Did that work out for him?
Surprisingly, it did. Pharaoh took Sarai but later discovered the truth and sent them away. Abram and Sarai eventually had a child named Ishmael through Hagar, Sarai's slave. God made a covenant with Abram, renaming him Abraham, promising him many descendants.
Wow, that's a lot of family drama. So, like, these stories really highlight the connections and differences among the three religions, huh?
Exactly. If you enjoyed this discussion, let me know what other religious stories you would like to hear about. Thank you.
I definitely want to hear more. This is so fascinating. Laughs.